Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramnan, and with me as always is Shruti Mishra. These are the top headlines from the startup world. The rise of Blinkit drives eternal. The Zomato parent reports a healthy first quarter. Revenue rises 70%. Order value from quick commerce business is more than the food delivery business for the first time in a full quarter.
EduFund, a full-stack education planning and financing platform, has raised $6 million in a Series A round led by Circano Management and Mass Mutual Ventures. The new capital will help EduFund scale AI-driven advisory, broaden loan offerings, and deepen Tier 2 and Tier 3 reach.
Annie, a fashion tech brand, has raised 10 crore rupees in pre-Series A funding round led by Atomic Capital. The startup is aiming to hit 100 crore rupees in revenue by next year and will use the funds to expand product categories and enhance its proprietary tech stack.
BizData, a venture enablement platform, has reported that 126 crore rupees, which is roughly 60% of its total investment portfolio in FY 24-25, was allocated to startups led by founders from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Out of the 21 startups funded in the fiscal year, 11 originated from smaller towns, with Nashik and Jaipur emerging as prominent hubs.
Indian cryptocurrency exchange CoinDCX, which recently suffered a theft of $44.2 million, announced to offer up to 25% of recovered funds as a reward for information that helps in the retrieval of stolen assets and identification of the culprits. The total loss is being absorbed entirely by CoinDCX using the company's treasury reserves.
Well, those were the headlines we've been tracking for you this evening. When you think of bank lockers, what comes to mind? Long wait list, restricted access, and inconvenient processes. Now imagine this instead: 24/7 access, military-grade security, and lockers placed right inside your community, all backed by insurance of up to 1 crore rupees. That's the promise of Aurm, a private vault company. Founded in 2023, Aurm already has 5,000 lockers across 20 gated communities. And to tell us more, joining me today is the man behind this bold new vault tech play, Shaurya Chakra awardee, Air Force veteran, and serial entrepreneur Vijay Kumar Arisetti, the founder and CEO of Aurm. Vijay, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today. From rescuing tsunami victims in the Air Force to building gate security apps with MyGate and now Aurm, what inspired this pivot to private vaults, and where did the idea for Aurm come from, and what does it mean?
Thanks, Smriti, for hosting me on the show.
You're on mute, Vijay.
I'm actually able to talk. I'm audible?
Yes.
So thanks, Smriti, for having me on this show. I would like to say that my career has always been centered around security and finding solutions. Through my work at MyGate, I observed one pattern that is happening in India. The affluent Indians are moving into gated communities, and these gated communities are getting concentrated in few pin codes of the country. And the number of banks continue to remain the same in these pin codes. And that exposed us to a critical gap. And basically, these affluent Indians need to keep their valuables safe at home, and the only option available to them today is to go to a bank locker. And because of this density, banks are not able to keep up this demand. And once you get a locker also at the bank, it's very difficult to operate given the traffic conditions and parking problems and working hours of the banks. So the consumers needed a different solution and a better solution, and that led to Aurm. And we built Aurm with a commitment to provide highly secure and exceptional convenience way to access your valuables.
And tell us what it means.
So Aurm means gold. AU is gold in the periodic table. It's pronounced Aurm. And basically it comes with Indian store wealth in the form of gold, and we want to protect this wealth what Indians are still keeping for them.
All right, Vijay. Tell us, how is Aurm reimagining the locker experience for today's customer? What is your tech edge? And while home safes have always been the go-to fallback, how does Aurm offer a safer and smarter alternative, especially within gated communities?
See, Aurm redefines the locker experience by providing 24/7 access, and it's fully automated. And it does not require any human being to operate. That provides complete privacy and efficiency. Our tech edge is a combination of multi-layered security system that encompasses biometric authentication, AI-powered surveillance, advanced robotics and digitized audit trail. Unlike home safes, Aurum provides institutional grade, safety and security protocols that can prevent thefts, and it can also protect against fire, floods, and even termites. And we also provide insurance to all the contents of the locker. Within the gated communities, we offer superior safety and peace of mind to access your wealth or to access your valuables at any point in time, right at your doorstep.
Okay. Now, Aurm also offers insurance coverage of up to 1 crore rupees per locker. How have you structured this with your partners, and what kind of customer confidence does that bring? And also the fact that these walls are inside gated communities and open 24/7 is a huge differentiator, Vijay. So what drove this hyperlocal approach?
So the fundamental, design of bank lockers, right, where the customer has to go inside the strong room to access the locker, and to provide privacy, these lockers in the banks cannot install any CCTV cameras, right? And because of this reason, insurance companies cannot investigate in case of a theft. But what we have done in Aurum is we have divided the entire setup into two. That is the strong room where all your valuables are, stored. That comes with complete, surveillance and sensor system to protect any kind of intrusion. But the access where you get to access your locker is a completely private area that gives you privacy. And the customer need to authenticate himself and press a button. His locker box would be picked up and presented to him in the access bay. This technology helped us to get insurance from insurers. And the reason we went about this hyperlocal approach is right within gated communities. The reason is gated communities today have become self-sufficient. All the social functions that people need to attend are happening right within the gated communities. So we said that why don't we have this set up inside the gated communities? And that's how we have taken this hyperlocal approach of having these lockers within gated communities. And
All right, Vijay.
the intent is to give a ultimate convenience, and so that people can access their lockers at any time, any point of the day.
Okay, let's talk about revenue, Vijay. You offer both annual rentals and lifetime leases. How much do these plans cost? And also, what kind of traction are you seeing across these plans? And who's your typical customer today?
Yeah, so we offer, our pricing is very, very competitive, the bank locker pricing, and we offer very flexible pricing. Our locker, we offer both rental and lease plans. The owners staying in the gated community, they go for this, lease plan that is ranging from 1.5 to 5 lakh rupees, one-time payment, and the tenants generally go for the rental plan, which is around 10,000 to 30,000 rupees based on the size of the locker these people subscribe to. And we see a strong demand for both based on the customer's preference. And our typical customer values security, convenience, and privacy. And we see a strong demand coming for both the plans.
Okay. Let's talk about your recent partnerships. You partnered with Vaisakhi Developers in Vizag and the Prestige Group in Bangalore. What is the rollout plan? And are we looking at a pan-India presence soon?
Yeah, I think builders have identified this as an important amenity for their customers while they're constructing gated communities. And to start off with, we have a deep partnership with Prestige and Vaishakhi Developers in Visakhapatnam. We have also, every day we are partnering with one other builder across the country. And the aim is to provide these lockers as an amenity in these gated communities from the word go itself. And we see that in India, close to 1,000 gated communities are getting constructed every year in the top 10 cities. And we aim to partner with all these builders to provide, lockers at their gated communities.
You are targeting 40,000 lockers by March 2026 across 150 sites. What is going to be key to scaling at that pace? And will we see Aurum in high street commercial areas next?
Yes. So I think for us to make this scalable, the technology has to be robust. The security system has to function the way it is designed, and a good operational agility. So we have designed the system in a very modular structure. The moment we identify a space, we take close to 45 days to put the entire setup. We have built an organizational capability to set up 100 such sites every month. So we are as we grow, since this is a new concept, we are targeting to grow to 150 communities across Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Visakhapatnam, hosting 40,000 lockers in this coming year.
All right, Vijay, very quickly, your mission is to create India's most compelling wealth company, not just a locker business. How are you going to expand that narrative? Will we see Aurm step into wealth infrastructure or financial products in the near future? Also, you've raised over $6 million so far from a mix of institutional investors. Are you looking to raise more capital? What does the road to profitability look like for Aurm?
Yeah, I think, we are building a relationship of trust with our customers. At this point, for the next few years, we'll be in this path to build the trust and giving a really good value towards customers who are taking this service. And once we establish the trust, yes, of course, we will roll out few financial products that can be embedded along with this lockers. And as far as the funding goes, yes, we are well capitalized at this point in time. Our business model is very profitable at a unit economics level. We generally, 60% to 70% of our lockers get subscribed within 3 months of the launch. And it's a profitable business. And at this point in time, we are not looking to raise any additional funds. But yes, if we have to, grow rapidly, probably we'll be raising funds a couple of years from now.
All right, on that note, I'll have to wrap up our conversation. But many thanks, Vijay, for joining us today on Startup Street, and wish you the very best with all your aggressive growth plans.
Thank you. Thank you, Smriti.
And moving on what's brewing today, Bengaluru-based startup Khiladi Pro raised $1 million a month ago to fuel its mission of discovering and developing young athletic talent using AI. The firm has also raised another round at a little over 10 crore rupees today. Backed by investors like Shastra VC and MGA Ventures, the platform uses smartphone-based visual assessments to deliver expert-level feedback to children across schools and academies. With plans to hit 200,000 assessments by 2025, K-Pro is aligning with Khelo India and India's 2036 Olympic dream, bringing world-class sports science to every corner of the country. Joining me now to discuss this further is Utkarsh Yadav, the founder of Khiladi Pro. Utkarsh, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. First up, I wanted to ask you, what made you start Khiladi Pro? Take us through what you have on offer and the gap that you were trying to address.
Right. Firstly, really nice to be here. Thank you for having us. Our main goal with Khiladi Pro was to be able to use AI as a technology because it's extremely impactful. Could we use it to actually stir mass participation in sport? India's sport participation levels are just about 6%. We face nearly 80 million kids pre-diabetic, a lot of inactivity, very sedentary lifestyles. And so we wanted to see if we could actually deliver AI on top of mobile distribution in India. And that opens up a bunch of opportunities. So we've obviously brought AI-powered assessments to the market, and they've been accepted really well. We're doubling down on our IP portfolio and now about to launch an AI coach, which you could really have an open-ended conversation like ChatGPT with on top of any sports video that you record. So that was the opportunity we saw 2 years ago. Obviously, it's been really helpful along with the consistent messaging from the government on them wanting to host the 2036 Olympics and a very dedicated effort towards making sport, a core pedagogical tool over the coming decade, where we also saw a lot of labor disruption imminent given the pace at which AI is growing. And we think sports will be very, very crucial to inculcating and nurturing our next generation correctly. So that was the idea, if we could bring AI and democratize access to both opportunity as well as improvement with products like AI coaches.
Sure. So democratizing that sports opportunity to everyone within the country. You're aiming for 200,000 AI-driven assessments by 2025, right? What kind of scale-up, tech or operational will be needed to sort of get there?
Very good question. So we've actually spent a year in a B2B2C phase where we've conducted these assessments, built out the SOPs. We've conducted them in actually very remote parts of India, Dibrugarh in Assam, Dhul in Chhattisgarh, Mahobah, Uttar Pradesh, to get the tech right for hinterland India. And now we've partnered with large event management companies and brought the entire offering D2C. So anybody in the metros would be able to take a full physical assessment, while we're able to offer other purely digital tools from any geography.
Sure. And, you've raised this $1 million last month, and I think it's a follow-on round, or is it a new round of a little over 10 crore rupees? If you could sort of take us through how you plan to use the funds that you've raised, what's on top of the agenda?
Right. So on top of the agenda, firstly, we're a very IP-heavy company. We're looking to build world-class AI with the quality of team and Indian talent we have. So a lot of the capital goes into continuing to build out models. We've built out more than 60 models ground up, all in India, our data, trained ourselves, labeled ourselves. Along with that, obviously, moving this offering and spending this capital and activating the market again. As I said, sports participation levels are very low. And so we've conceptualized the entire offering into the world's first sports and fitness Olympiad, which we are bringing, as I said, D2C to market now. And a decent amount of capital would go in building out the property, executing it, and helping activate the physical education and sports market.
Sure, absolutely. And how does your visual AI system assess athletic ability using just a smartphone? Can you sort of, walk us through this tech edge that you have?
Fair enough, fair enough. So one of the key constraints that we put on ourselves was that we wanted to make AI work on mobile video so that it could be distributed across India. Any new hardware becomes extremely expensive for us. And so we actually have a very dedicated and senior sports science team that works along with our 20 plus sports scientists that we have. So through each sport, we actually go about building a portfolio of models, from identifying different actions to measuring different distances, tracking a shuttle, tracking a ball. So we have, as I said, 60 small visual models that we've built. And these have been built under the guidance and post-training and labeling through a set of very senior coaches from the NCA, from India's national badminton training setup. And so that allows our AI to be very, very aligned with what top quality coaching and top quality feedback would look like. And when we can distribute that over mobile video, the opportunity becomes massive. We have 500 million kids in India. And so the AI really helps us deliver this at edge, because we do a lot of our pre-training with top quality coaches and then allow it to be distributed over any Android or iOS distribution.
Sure. So how many sports do you currently have on this platform? How many can you look at? How many can you assess at this point?
Very good question. So we have a fair set of assessments in each of these sports. Badminton, we do nearly 5 different assessments. We have a set of assessments in cricket. Then we've built a set of assessments for kids under the age of 10, a general athletic ability test, a motor and movement ability test, which is a lot more fun oriented. And we've just come out with soccer. So that's what we cover right now. Very soon we'll be out with handball, basketball, and a few more sports.
All right. So right now you have these key ones on the platform. If you could then take us through how does your business model work? What about, your revenues? Are you right now clocking? What are you making right now? And where do you hope to end this year?
Right. So we have a very healthy order book of nearly $500,000 for these assessments through academies, associations, schools. And as I said, we've now made a pivot along with the healthy order book. We've made a pivot D2C, which is post-revenue as well. We have more than 5,000 registrations effectively for the Olympiad across the last year. And now that we go D2C, we'd be looking to hit nearly half the quota of the 200,000 from the Olympiad, and another half comes from our B2B order.
Right. So healthy order book there for you. Now, you've also mentioned the alignment with Khelo India and the 2036 Olympic vision, right? So how are you collaborating with national or state level institutions at this point to help achieve that goal?
We've actually been engaged with them for a while. We've spent nearly a year consulting, speaking to the team as Sports Authority of India. There are some very interesting programs like Kirti, Khelo India Rising Talent Identification, which is exactly this. They want to do assessments so that we can get benchmarks and large mass acquisition of data to even drive policy making, policy making leading towards 2036. I believe the Home Minister made an announcement of expanding the TOPS policy to nearly 3,000 athletes receiving 50,000 rupees a month, which is a great step in the direction. But a lot more is needed. And so we want to actually build an ecosystem play where if we could actually help not only discover, but also fund and fuel the very expensive journeys pro athletes have through this large LinkedIn style platform that we over a period of time create, we believe would be on path to achieve some of the targets we have for 2036, like ending up in the top 5 countries in that Olympics, ideally winning the bid, which is also a big question mark still, but very happy that the government has taken a very strong position on coming up with a very, I would say, well thought out bid still in the making. And if we could tie it up with mass digital health, mass consumer health, we could have some mass programs that help us be a little more active as a nation, eat better. That would be a true winner for the entire initiative to bring the Olympics to India.
All right, Utkarsh, thank you so much for outlining your vision for the future over here with your company. And we wish you all the best on that journey. But thank you so much for joining us here on Startup Street.
Thank you for having us.
All right, on that note, it's time for us to head into a short break. India's fashion market is booming and is projected to grow over 10% in a year through 2030. And Urbanic is trying to grab a larger piece of this pie. We check into Urbanic's India operations to find out more.
Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. India's fashion market is projected to grow over 10% a year through 2030, led by Gen Z mobile-first shopping and digital-first brands. One of them is Urbanic, which entered just as Shein exited and has since delivered over 30 million orders. Now, expanding with a new label called Savannah, what's really powering its growth? Smart marketing, sharper pricing, or the tech behind your scroll? Aishwarya Anand reports from inside Urbanic's India operations. Take a look.
You've seen the ads, you've seen the clothes, but what you probably haven't seen is where it all begins. This is Urbanic's India warehouse. Started in London, scaled through TikTok, and now shipping over 1,000 pieces a day across India. This is the new face of algorithm-led fashion. But behind every reel and rapid drops, what is the real story? Who is making the clothes that you wear, and how fast is too fast? Today, we are going behind the scenes to understand Urbanic's India operations, meet the founders and ask them what does it take to fuel India's fast fashion engine in real time.
We really wanted to bring the latest trends from the West, from the UK, from Britain and the West, to consumers in emerging markets or economies that are fast growing. Well, India is a country with hugely rich in culture and diversity, as well as a very powerful consumer base, consumer market. So those two elements coupled together, as well as the fact that it's a highly and rapidly digitalizing economy, meant that this was the first market where we wanted to really try our business in.
Fast fashion only works if your backend is faster. In Gurgaon, Urbanic's warehouse processes up to 1 million units a week. It's more like a fashion factory than a fulfillment center.
This is a bigger facility, and then we move on and around 600,000 to 10,000 in a week's time. And from a capacity perspective, this warehouse has more than 3 million units capacity in a month.
Behind the warehouse is an algorithm. Every tap, scroll, wish list, it's data, and that data designs the next drop.
We work heavily with our AI and proprietary technology, and that's been a huge focus of our business since the beginning. That's how we get a real-time feed and an appreciation of what sort of styles, what sort of trends the consumers are interested in, engaged with on the app or on the website.
In 2023, Urbanic added a new name to the closet, Savannah. Same DNA, different mood, affordable, trend-forward, and under 1,000 rupees. Urbanic says its best sellers across both brands remain consistent: dresses, tops, and denim.
Urbanic, on an average, I can say it would be at 2x of Savannah in terms of pricing. And median pricing for Savannah is always less than 1,000, which is we have made it affordable to all of users in India.
And how many orders have you clocked till date, including Urbanic and Savannah both?
So till date, it's more than 5 years now. Collectively, it would be higher than 30 to 35 million.
Fast fashion's biggest sin, waste. Urbanic says tech helps it stay lean, small batches, frequent restocking, minimal dead stock.
We have a predictive inventory analysis, which we conduct, and that has been very successful in reducing dead stock.
With profitability achieved, Urbanic is now eyeing global markets, starting with the Middle East and maybe a public listing.
We are profitable, so there's no urgency for rounds, but obviously we want to grow as well, 50% year-on-year growth. And with that, there are various ways plans we have in order to achieve that. Maybe a new brand, other ways of other markets we may enter.
As global fashion market slows, India is moving away. Projected to grow at over 10% a year through 2030, according to a report by Redseer. The ecosystem is also primed for growth. Over 800 homegrown digital-first brands have been launched since 2019, with several entrants having already crossed the $50 million revenue mark within the first 2 to 3 years of their launch. Now, in a market where Gen Z drives taste and speed meets purpose, The war isn't just going to be around the price points. It's going to be about who wins the heart of India's new shoppers. With camera person Balbir Singh, Aishwarya in for CNBC-TV18.
Well, with that, it's a wrap from Arundhati and me, Shruti, on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.